Hi, everyone, and welcome to Jamie Iris Talk TV. It's another Monday today, and I simply am so happy. Time had flown indeed so fast, isn't it? Imagine it's already July 25. Weeks had flown so fast, and months are flying so fast, and we are starting a new week. And I believe there could be a lot of challenges that you might be facing right now, and maybe when you woke up this morning, you might be saying that, oh, it's another Monday. But then again, looking forward, everyone, that this Monday will bring you a lot of motivation. Today, we have a special guest who will definitely bring us an inspiring message regarding how can we start our week. And of course, whatever he'll be sharing is something that we could actually, have as an inspiration in our life as we definitely face not only different challenges, but at the same time, opportunities also that we can make the most out of. Are you tired of living your life defeated? So now we have a speaker. Right? I had invited him to share to us how can you live your life to the fullest? Because a lot of us sometimes we feel that life seems to be dragging when in fact they say life should be enjoyed and not only to be endured. Now, how can we do that? Well, I'll leave it to our speaker for today so that at least he could share to us how can we live our life to the fullest. Now, before I introduce to you our speaker, let me tell you more about his background. We are so privileged to have with us today to share to us an inspiring message. The president of the Philippine Society for Quality. He is also a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. He's a certified learning and development professional. He's a certified digital transformation professional and certified in De Bono Six Thinking Hats. Dr. Rey Fremista is an executive with expertise leading teams in process excellence, digital transformation, and analytics across diverse businesses. He is the president, as mentioned earlier, of the Philippine Society for Quality and the AVP for digital transformation of an international company and a professional lecturer of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And aside from that, our special guest for today, who will share his inspiring message, is also one of the appointees of the President of the Republic of the Philippines to be part of the Philippine Quality Award Executive Committee. He is also an associate academician of the International Academy for Quality, or IAQ. And he is one of the 2022 Philippines top 30 leaders on LinkedIn. So all the leaders who's watching right now, definitely later he will be sharing his social media so that you can follow him also in his LinkedIn and other social media. And then he is also a recipient of the International Individual Award from Asia Pacific Quality Organization in 2017 and of the Quality Manager of the Year Award from the Philippine Society for Quality in 2015 before he became part of the board. Everyone, let us welcome our special guest for today, Dr. Rey Fremista.
Hi,
Hi,
Jamie.
hi, Doc Ray. How are you?
I'm all good, and thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you so much for being generous. Thank you so much. It's an honor, definitely, Jamie, to be with here with you and with all of your audience in your channel. So I'll look forward to definitely sharing maybe some of my inputs, some of my
Yes.
experiences. So I'm so excited for today.
Yes, me too, Doc. Because if there's one thing, everyone, when I was actually conceptualizing about the segment, Dr. Ray is actually the number one in my head to invite as a speaker. Because if there's one thing with his experiences and at the same time, what he actually focuses on his social media as well, he'll tell you more about that, is something that could help us not only to be to feel inspired, but also motivated when it comes to our mindset. But then again, I'll definitely give him the floor. So he'll be sharing to us the 5 simple ways that you can do to live your life to the fullest. So, Dr. Ray, I'll give the floor to you.
Absolutely, Jamie. And once again, thank you so much. And what a wonderful day to all of you. To maybe good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're part of the globe right now. What I want to share with you is really all about the 5 simple ways and how you can live your life to the fullest. And this is, if you can also check my channel, this is also part of one of the uploads, or one of the topics that I discussed in my Let's Do It series. When I say live your life to the fullest, I was thinking about asking really your question: if you're happy right now, are you really happy right now? Because that's one of the questions. At the end of the day, you will be asking, I am really happy. I mean, living my life. Am I really living my life to the fullest? And how does it look like? And how can I get there? So definitely, those are some of the things that we will be talking about in the next couple of minutes. And what I'm trying to say is, if we can maximize our life in a very short span of time that we have here on earth, and I believe that's something that I would mean living your life to the fullest. When I say maximize, meaning we maximize the happiness that we can get, we maximize living with the people that we love. I believe at the end of the day, that's what I mean by being by living your life to the fullest, living your life with intent, and be intentional about living it. So that's what I'm trying to share with you. Maybe I can go, Jamie, with the first input that I have when it comes to how can we live that life? How can we live our life to the fullest? Maybe number one, what I can share would be is defining your why. There's a lot of people. Most probably, you can also check that, Jamie, with all of some of your audience who's been watching your channel for quite some time, right? There's a lot of people who don't know what their why is. What is their compass, right? But that's okay if you don't know yet your why. You can always sit down. You can reflect on, and then jot down, or maybe start writing down, what is your why? Why are you here on earth? And it's really important to know your why, definitely, because that's the direction where you're heading. And if you don't have that why, you're definitely, one day you will be asking, what's my purpose? Why am I living? Why am I doing these things? Whenever I wake up until the moment that you close your eyes, what is that something that you're living for? What is that something that you're fighting for? So that's what I'm trying to say, that you have to define your why. If you know what your why is on a daily basis, that will make you happier. Not just happier, but that will make your life more meaningful. The second one that I want to share with you is really more about taking risk. And I've been sharing this earlier. So when we had a chat with Jamie, that one of the things that I love doing in my previous organization was I was able to really do a lot of things. It's because of that was my comfort zone. But then again, if you are always living in your comfort zone, working in your comfort zone, you're not going to grow. There might be, right, maybe there might be some growth in there, but it's only limited to some level, to some degree. But if you start staying out of your comfort zone, definitely the growth you'll see that breakthrough in terms of your growth. And if you don't, and there's also one of the things that you can do so that you don't stagnate in the current level, especially if you have that specific career, and if you want to advance that career that you have, then you have to start challenging that status quo, challenging your present moment, and try to stay out of your comfort zone, not totally, but maybe little by little, challenging on the way that you're working, and then trying to look at what are the new ways of doing things. And that can definitely help you a lot in terms of looking at more ways. It can open like a lot of opportunities for you technically if you take like a lot of risk and stay out of your comfort zone. And the third one that I want to share with you is really more about living the present moment. And I believe a lot of people are being anxious. Their anxiety is at the top of the roof. It's because of they've been thinking about not just the past, but they've been thinking about the future. But as you would notice, future is not happening. I mean, the future hasn't happened yet, and we don't know if that future will happen, right? So why are you going to think about it? It will just really drive like a lot of anxiety from your end, and it will really drive like a lot of thinking from your end that will ruin like a lot of hours that you could have spent happier. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you have this present moment, just enjoy this moment. Just be present, be mindful with the people that are around you. Just be mindful with the things that are happening around you, and that will make you happier and being relaxed and being still at the moment. And then the fourth one that I'm thinking about when it comes to when we talk about living your life to the fullest, one of the simple ways that you can do is ignoring your bashers, right, Jamie? Especially that we are on social media environment like on a daily basis. Sometimes a lot of people, when they wake up, they usually open their smartphones and their tabs and all of that gadgets, and they usually look at the Facebook, LinkedIn, or IG, and from time to time you would be seeing some of the bashers. And even say, for instance, if you upload a specific video, you can please everyone, right? um, and that's one of the reasons why you have to ignore the bashers. There's a lot of things where you can invest your energy on, and all the things that, say for instance, that are dragging you down, say for instance these bashers, just ignore them. They are actually the spice of your life. Maybe you can look at it that way. And you should be, I mean, if you start doing that, then definitely you'd be happier. And then the last one that I want to share with you is keeping an open mind. What I'm trying to say is, what I want to share with you, by the way, there's this specific study that one of the findings would be that listening to the ideas that you don't understand or you don't agree with keeps your mind active and healthy. So that's one of the reasons why, even if you think that, okay, this person doesn't add value to any of the conversations, but at the end of the day, you would notice or you would realize that this person really brings something into the table, that you can learn something from anyone. It may not be like significant learning, but at least you would be learning something from that specific person. So I believe those are some of the things that we can do, Jamie, from my perspective, that can help. Simple ways, simple ways. I believe simple ways. I term it simple ways, but then again, if you try to do it, I know it sometimes it will be harder, but try to do them, and then it will become easier and simpler as time moves on when you keep on executing and thinking about them. But what I'm trying to say is, just do it and live it and breathe it, and you would notice that your life will become that you'll be happier, that you'll think, okay, I'm living my life to the fullest, because that definition will definitely depend on you, or dependent on how we look at things, or depending on your situation. So I believe those are some of the things that I can share for today, Jamie, on how we can what they call that, or how we can live our lives to the fullest. And just have a quick recap of what I mentioned earlier. The first one is really more about defining your why. The second one is all about taking risks, staying out of your comfort zone. Third one is all about living the present moment. The fourth one is all about ignoring our bashers. And the fifth one is really more about keeping an open mind. So I believe those are some of the simple ways, 5 simple ways that you can start today if you would want to live your life to the fullest. And I would want to hear something from you. If some of those things work for you, I am more than glad to hear them. Jamie?
Yes, wow. Thank you so much, Doc Ray, for sharing those 5 simple ways on how you can live your life to the fullest. And while Doc Ray is actually sharing that, I cannot help but nod and at the same time smile, because again, all of those that he had mentioned are really true, I think, for both of our lives. And that's why it's great that I'm so happy that he had shared it to you. Like when you said number one, what actually struck me the most when you were sharing this is that indeed, right, you should be intentional. We should be intentional in our lives, because if not, time is fleeting. Time can definitely fly so fast. So why not make the most out of our time? So looking forward that again, you will also, just like what Doc Ray had mentioned. Doc Ray, how early was it for you when you actually determined or discovered or defined your why? For me, I think it took me time. I think around 24, 25, I didn't really know that there is something such as purpose. But when I actually realized that, there's a why in my life, why I am here, why I have this certain talent that, others don't have. And at the same time, why I don't have those talents that others don't have. It's not because like, we think of ourselves inferior, but we learn to appreciate, I think, what God had given us as talents. How early was it for you?
It was around the first one, Jamie, because there were several episodes. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not solid that hey, one day you wake up that you know your purpose. I think
That's
it was
true.
sometime in my 20s, like say for instance, I think 23 or 24,
Uh-huh,
and then
uh-huh.
right after that, then I was lost again, and then
Correct.
I went back to the drawing board. Why am I living again? Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
our purpose really changes, like
It's
depending
true.
on the stage of our lives.
Agree.
And then I revisited it something in 28 and revisited
Uh-huh.
something in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like on a yearly basis, I usually reflect on it and revisit
Uh-huh.
because it really changes like every now and then. But at least
Mm-mm.
as long as you can articulate that purpose, right? I mean, what is that
Agree.
why? Why are you waking up like every morning or each day? Then that's
Yes.
something that could definitely help you out. As long as you can articulate that, even if it's not as specific as possible, as long as you
Yes.
have that something that drives you crazy like on a daily basis, then I believe you're good.
Yes, I agree with that. And even for me, dog, I think it took around, it's not, I just like what you said, it's not like one blink of an eye or one snap of a finger. I think it took me years also to actually realize, okay, so this is it. It's just like it starts with a question. Like, I think now everyone, if you're listening to us and you have not really come across such terminology or thought that, I do have a purpose in life, or you determine the why of your life. So I think it's the same thing with me. I heard it from my mom in a book that she actually shared it to me. And at the same time, during that time, my boyfriend also, during that time, who was still, he passed away because of cancer, but during that time he was
Oh, I'm
alive.
so
He
sorry to
actually
hear that.
also, thank you so much. He shared the book. It's called Purpose Driven Life. So I was
Mm.
able to understand, there is a purpose. And just like what Doc Ray had mentioned, once you actually had determined that, it's like a compass, isn't it? It evolves. I agree with Doc Ray. It evolves as time passes by because we have different seasons of our lives. But then again, as long as you can articulate it, I think that is what is important, and you can share it, and that will make our lives even joyful. So that's quite great. So everyone, if ever at this point in time, it's like still a big question mark for you, whatever age that you might be, it's something that, you don't have to really force it, but, take time to reflect on it, because the talents that you have right now is something uniquely that is you. That's why we don't need doctorate to compare ourselves with others, right? Because we definitely are unique and special. And then you did mention also taking risk. Oh, wow. Okay. A lot of people, I think all of us have our own respective comfort zone, but it's different when we actually take risk. Who would have thought that Doc Ray, like for me, I think it's more on jumping, literally, to become a seafarer. I never thought that was
Mm.
not part of my dream board actually. But then again, when Doc Ray actually was sharing this taking risks, so I was thinking of what are the different risks that I have taken. I think that's quite a lot. Although of course, like if like in my situation, I take calculated risk, but still it's good to take that kind of risk. What was the most challenging risk that you have taken that you can say that, this really, made a great like positive change in my life?
Oh wow, that's great, Jamie. There's actually a lot. Um, but maybe I can share with you maybe from the extreme sports perspective, Jamie. When I did
Ah,
my skydiving. So
Uh-huh.
that was
Wow.
totally that was wow, that was totally crazy. And but in every moment,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of people, right, JB, who would be saying that okay, you are not good enough, right? You're not good enough, and
Yeah.
they will let you feel that you're a failure and all of
Mm-hmm.
those things. And but then again, from my perspective, whenever I hear from people, or whenever even myself, right, there are some whispers that you would be hearing from along the way. But as long as you, whenever you hear that specific whisper that hey, you're not good enough, do it. So that's my perspective. So whenever there's something that I'm hearing coming from the people or coming from myself,
Uh-huh.
just do it, and you'll see the beauty of that. Or else it will always be, maybe you will be regretting them some at some point of your life.
Yeah.
Just do it. Right? You only
Yes.
have just one life, as mentioned by Jamie earlier. So why not just do it?
Yes. I think I began to have that same perspective as time passes by, that I don't want to live doc with what ifs in my life. If I could do it,
Mm,
exactly what you've said, then do it. So at least you know that you did it. And of course, you will have to do your, you know, depends, like research, but you can be confident also in doing it. So yeah, I like that when it comes to taking risk in our lives. And three is just like what you've said, living the present moment. I think that is a very simple but very impactful, because with who like a lot of us were caught off guard because of the pandemic crisis. No one likes uncertainty, and I think too much focus on what the future actually brings can definitely, just like what you've said, can bring a lot of anxiousness and worry. So that's why it's great to focus at least what we have right now, so that at least it lessens the worry as well, right? So
that's true.
mhm.
Totally agree, Jamie. And sometimes, what
Uh-huh.
you have to ask yourself, is it real? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, right, that that future may not happen actually, right?
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's a perspective that future may not happen, so why spend time, invest your time thinking about it, right? Just think about the present one so that you can enjoy it, because
Yes.
sometimes the day passes by and you're not enjoying it because you've been
Yes.
thinking about the future.
Uh-huh.
So you're not actually living your life.
That is actually true. Again, at one point in my life too, I realized that, because I plan a lot. I think Dr. Ray and
Mm,
I loves the organizer and the planner, right? No.
absolutely.
So,
Mm,
but then again, there is like a certain boundary to that, so that at least you will not also border into what we call
mm,
becoming a warrior. It's okay to plan. And I think the pandemic crisis, doc, something that I've learned as a leader also, like in the companies also, everyone who usually have the long-term plan for how many years now, a lot of companies and even leaders have to adjust and be, agile and resilient when it comes to
mm,
adjusting to what we call what we have right now, because everything it was uncertain, especially last year. So a lot of like employees were asking, so what do we have in the next few months, what do we have in the next year, so what will happen? The companies actually cannot answer anything, the leaders cannot say anything also, because it's just living at the moment. That is what is important. And I learned to, I think, because as a planner myself, I analyzed quite a lot of things. That was the time when I was still in the US, that I understood also, like, yeah, it's very important that you live at the moment and then
yeah.
see how you can be joyful in spite and have that peace in spite of the turmoil or the chaos in the environment. Because if you can find peace in your heart with dealing what is at present at this point in time, it will also so easy, doc, to influence the people also, especially if you're a leader. That if you're calm, they can still at least they can draw calmness in you in spite of what they see or what they actually hear, and avoid also a lot of those mental health issues that is brought about by
Absolutely.
too much. I think it's overthinking,
Mm,
because I have
mm,
like loved ones, I have like friends also who really suffered depression. And I think that is what they have mentioned. Exactly. They focus much in the future rather than the present. And then on that note, the fourth one that Doc Ray had mentioned is something that very important. Ignoring the bashers of your life, the spices of your life. And everyone, I could simply say, since Doc Ray and I also are leaders of the Vloggers Academy. So when I was very new as a vlogger, I think that was 2020, the first time I've encountered, a real hardcore basher. I will not go into details, but Doc Ray knows that. And I think this is actually one of the best advice that he had given to me. He gave me a lot of great advices when it comes to handling bashers. But yes, definitely ignore them. Because Doc Ray, it's not only us who are like vloggers who have bashers, right? Because that's a great point that you have mentioned. Even our viewers who are watching right now, we have, I think the terminologies might be different. It might not be typically the bashers, but now this is the new terminology, but like the critics.
Yes, that's true. That's true, JV. And I think I've shared I
Uh-huh.
shared that specific story, and it's all about you are not like a cup of tea of everyone. Like,
Uh-huh. Yes.
right? You can't really expect everyone to love you. And there's this specific statement that states like, um, there will be moments of whatever it is that you're doing, whatever,
Uh-huh.
even if you're the greatest or the best in that specific field, if someone does not like you or someone hates you,
Uh-huh.
then definitely you can't do anything because that's the perspective of that person. And we just need
Yes.
to respect if that's a perception of one person, then that's okay. I mean, we just need to go on with our life, and then spend more time with the people who love us, who appreciate
Yes.
us more, right?
Yes, and that is important because you cannot please people who actually in the first place doesn't like you already, right?
Mm,
And what is important is and you're confident about your talent, and at the same time, exactly what Doc Ray had mentioned. You know what really are your accomplishments, and whatever they throw at you, you know what is the truth. I think that's the bottom line
yeah.
of it, because people can accuse you of many things or throw like let us just say different some people call you will call you by names, or or sometimes some people can just simply be insecure. Everyone, well, we'll talk about that in another video. We're in, when a person's confidence is not that high, really, sometimes instead of appreciating the talents of other people, they tend to pull you down. So if you're the talented person and someone is always pulling you down, or whenever they see you, they only seem to see, what is wrong with you, and they cannot see what are the great positive things that you can bring either to the company or to the people around you, then think again. Anyway, we'll talk about that in our other videos. But again, everyone, so just ignore. Bashers, I think, for me also, Doc Ray, is bashers, they don't really mean to, they don't have that intent to help build you
Mm,
up. So that's why I think the action really is ignore. And then,
yeah, and
yeah,
maybe last one, Jamie. That's why
yes,
we don't let us down. Those
yes.
bashers, and because there will be times that some people will be hurt with all of the
Mm-hmm.
things or all of the words that other people may be saying to you. It's
Uh-huh.
similar with what I mentioned earlier, that maybe people would say that you are not good enough and all of those
Mm-hmm.
things, but you shouldn't be believing in what those people are saying. You should be the first one who should believe that you should believe in yourself.
Yeah,
And that's the
yes.
I believe you shouldn't be losing that belief that you are capable, that you are amazing, because you're totally unique, as mentioned by Jamie earlier.
Uh-huh. Yes, indeed. So everyone, so in case you face again that person, especially if that someone is in your workplace, simply ignore them and keep that joy in your heart. And lastly, I also love what you had mentioned, Doctor, when it comes to open-mindedness. It's simply because we all have our point of views, right? But then again, the example that you had given really touched my heart. Sometimes we have to give a person a chance. we might have that first impression on that person, but if we don't really had that opportunity to, get to know that person, or maybe that person made a mistake, but then again, it's great to keep an open mind on how we could also further collaborate, especially in the workplace, everyone, huh? Because keeping an open mind will definitely benefit not only you, but also the people around you. And Doc Ray, when it comes to being open-minded, how did it benefited you personally as a leader? Because again, Doc Ray, when it comes to his leadership, it's really exemplary.
Absolutely, Jamie. For me, you just have to provide that what they call as a benefit of the doubt with other people,
Mm,
with especially with the people that you work with. You don't like assume, you don't judge them,
mhm.
but you have to do your part in terms of maybe talk to the person,
I
where the
love
person
that.
is coming from, really spend
Uh-huh.
more time with the people, because most
Mm-hmm.
of the time with all of the busy schedules that we have, all of the
Mm-hmm.
priorities in the world, in our organizations, we forget to look at like the soft side of the business, like
Uh-huh.
the people
Yes.
that we work with. And sometimes we might be losing that context where the person is coming from. And sometimes we might be irritated with some of the things that we're seeing, but we just have to give that benefit of the doubt that maybe the person is maybe undergoing something, but you just have to spend more time with the people before you, because most of the time there are
Mm-hmm.
leaders who would judge like upfront
Uh-huh.
without really diving into what
Asking.
really happened. So I believe that's one of the key things that leaders should be focusing on when it comes to leading people and leading other people, stakeholders in the organization.
Indeed, I agree. Whenever I coach leaders, I remember what you've just said. It's very important that don't don't be judgmental. It's not what
Mm,
the program from one of the noontime show that we have in our country, but that's quite true because sometimes it will
mm,
come out from our mouth, the words, right? So if your members, or it could be also in your relationships, right? It could be with friends, it could also with family members. So if what will come out of your mouth is like you're condemning the person. So, the trust and the openness also will be affected, right? So the more, even if they would want to explain themselves, but if they felt that they are judged already, so tendency is they might not really be opening up. So yes, indeed.
that's
So
true. And maybe an
maintaining.
next example.
Mm,
Maybe I want to give a specific example,
sure. Mhm.
JB, so that the our audience or our participants can
Uh-huh.
definitely pick up of what we're trying to say. Like, say for instance,
Uh-huh.
you're a leader, and then you ask say for instance, your direct reports to update. Say for
Uh-huh.
instance, like a specific PowerPoint presentation, you need to update the numbers. And then next day, when you look at the presentation that they sent out, the numbers are not there. Maybe some of the numbers are not there. And
Yes.
sometimes if you might be reacting like, why did you not update all of the numbers? Or maybe you might be saying, maybe you might be judging your people that, hey, are you not working, or things like that, right? But you have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Okay, maybe you can touch base with those direct reports who updated specific PowerPoint. Maybe they just maybe they just forgot to include some of the numbers in there, or maybe they just misplaced some of those numbers, or maybe they have some clarifications in terms of those numbers. So I believe that's what I'm trying to say when I say give them the benefit of the doubt,
Yes.
and then just have the touch base with the people and have that heart to heart conversation with the
Mhm.
people that you work with, so that you can understand better of where they're coming from.
Yes, indeed. And I agree with you because that definitely builds the most important ingredient that at how a team will actually work very well, and that is trust.
Absolutely. And if there's trust, then that's also the time when your people will start opening up their hearts.
Mhm. Exactly. And same thing,
Mhm.
whether it's in the company or again in your family also, or in the community. So if you keep that open-mindedness that Doc Ray had just simply mentioned, it will definitely take you far, and it will definitely build stronger relationship. Oh, wow. So thank you so much, Doc Ray, for those five simple ways you could actually live your life to the fullest. So everyone, what are you waiting for? Looking forward that, these are practical ways that you could actually apply this in your life. Now, before we actually say thank you and goodbye to Doc Ray, I simply want to give the floor once again to him to invite you to his social media. Please follow him because definitely if you love this segment and you learn quite a lot, you will learn more even in his social media. So Doc Ray, please invite them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much once again, Jamie, for this opportunity for me to share some of my insights. And I want to invite you to please visit my channel. So that's my YouTube channel is Mind Grid by Dr. Rey Fremista, and that's the same channel, or that's the same account that they have in my LinkedIn. I also have my personal account, so that's Dr. Rey Fremista in my LinkedIn account. I usually share or upload one item or one motivational mindset and motivation item like on a daily basis in Facebook as well. And I also have my Instagram. So you can just check my channel and get to my social media accounts. But before we end, I believe this segment, Jamie, I just want to have a favor. I just want to challenge our audience to maybe right after you watch this specific video, if you can think about what are the maybe 1 to 2 things that you can do differently so that you can live your life to the fullest. So that's my challenge to our audience, so that that's something that you can take away from our session.
So everyone, accept the challenge. Because definitely we both look forward that you will live your life to the fullest, just like what we are doing. We also had faced challenges, but then again, when we applied what Doc Ray had mentioned, and I will also continuously take a look on what areas I could further improve on, so that I would love, in spite of the pandemic crisis, to live our life to the fullest. So with that, once again, Doc Ray, I just simply want to say thank you so much for being our special guest for Motivated Mindset Monday, and of course for Jamie Iris Talk TV. So looking forward that we will definitely be inviting back Doc Ray for other segments. And everyone, so please take a look at the comment box or the description box as well. And later, you can also see the different social media that Doc Ray had mentioned. So please, what are you waiting for? Like and subscribe and follow. And please share too. Because definitely, I believe what he is sharing is definitely helpful for all of us. So once again, everyone, we look forward to see you in our next segment. So again, have a great week. And once again, this is Jamie Iris. And of course, we have our guest,
Dr. Rey Fremista.
yes. And looking forward to see you in our next episode. And once again, have a great and blessed week. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Thank you. Thank you.